Good evening, everybody. It's Monday, December 18th, 2023. We're here in City Council chambers for the regular City Council meeting of the City of Farmington. First item on the agenda is roll call. Clerk Bachman.
Hey, Mayor LaRussa.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Balk.
Here.
Councilmember Parkins.
Here.
Councilmember Schneeman.
Here.
And Councilmember Taylor.
Here.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand if you're able and face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, everyone, for that. The next item on the agenda is public comment. This is the portion of the meeting where members of the public who wish to address the City Council may do so. We ask that you please take a position at the podium, state your name and address for the clerk, and please limit your comments to 3 to 5 minutes if possible. Is there anyone that would like to make public comment?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council, city staff. My name is Mike Sweeney. I'm one of your emergency preparedness commissioners. And I know this is the 18th of December, and everyone's hoping to get into their holidays quickly. So I'll make our tip of the month as brief as I can. This is the time of year where people are traveling. They're going on vacations, they're visiting family, they're just getting out and traveling. And we'd like to suggest that we use our phones to do our heavy lifting for us. Most people are aware that there's a feature in your phone called medical ID. You look into your phone, up comes 3 phone numbers. Typically, this is an outside contact, your power of attorney, and your physician. So if you can't speak for yourself, the public safety officer who finds you wherever he finds you puts your phone in your face. Now he knows who to call. Well, we'd like to add one more step to that. Your phone also has a feature where you can take photographs, and you can create your own albums. We'd like you to create an album called In Case of Emergency and take pictures of the current prescriptions in your medicine cabinet. If you have allergies or other alerts, take pictures of those as well. If you happen to find yourself in an unknown emergency room, the charge nurse can take your phone, again, put it in your face, and now she knows who your power of attorney is, who your physician is, who your pharmacist is, the medicines that you are currently taking, their dose. Even if they don't know you, they can now put together a fairly good charge cart and know what treatments you need. They'll run their own tests, of course, but now they know something of your history, and frankly, being able to call your physician, being able to call your pharmacist, they can get a lot of background information very quick. And if you happen to be in a city where they don't know you, that can be a lifesaver. One other tip that may or may not be personal, if you were, say, going to Houston, Texas to visit, say, your grandchildren, and you were in such a hurry to get out the door, you forgot to take that little box of medicines that your physician wants you to take every single day. And you don't know that till you get to Houston. Well, now you've got a problem because you're going to be there for a week and you're not going to have your medicines. Unless you just walk across the parking lot to the Kroger pharmacy that happens to be there, you show them your pictures, you show them your photo ID. They are going to want to see your photo ID. They will call their friend, the pharmacist over at Kroger on Middlebelt Road. They'll have little conversations. They may make a few jokes at your expense. That has been known to happen. You'll get a week's worth of prescriptions. You can go back to hugging on your grandchildren, and your vacation goes on unabated. Again, let's use technology, have it do the heavy lifting for us. And again, happy holidays. 3 minutes and 42 seconds.
Thank you, Mike. Good job. You can always count on the EPC to meet the requirements. Thank you for that. Good tips. Appreciate, as always, the tip of the month from the Emergency Preparedness Commission. Next item on the agenda is approval of items on the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved. Support.
Motion by Schneeman, support from Balk. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the regular agenda.
I'll move to approve the regular agenda with the addition of moving items 10 and 11, public comment and council comment, to immediately after item 7, which is directly before we go into closed session, so that any of us here or the public may make comments before we exit the televised section of the meeting.
Okay. Support. Motion by Taylor, supported by Schneeman. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for that. The next item on the agenda is presentations and public hearings. We have Main Street, Oakland County, and Genesis Credit Union small business grants. Mrs. Knight or Mr. Colbeck?
Thank you for having me. I just want to say, first and foremost, Oakland County's been the beneficiary of a very strong partnership with Genesis Credit Union. And we're very thankful. The two of us came together in 2018, and we both put a little money in the pot so that we could help start up businesses. And this is why we have this grant program now. And there's been some very deserving recipients. The DDA staff, Kate and Jess, do a wonderful job on making sure that we're getting really good candidates to come in for the grant that we know are going to be around for a long time and will be able to take credit for some of their success, even though we did absolutely nothing to make them successful. So that being said, I have two checks tonight that we want to give to congratulate and acknowledge the winners of said grant. So I guess we could start. I have Kitchen Creations, which has received a $2,000 grant. Missy. Thank you so much. That grant was used to purchase your refrigeration system, correct? So that allowed you to expand your business?
Right, display, fridge, and freezer.
So again, that's the whole purpose of doing this program, is to support and help a small business like yours expand. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. It has made a big difference for us, so thank you. If you haven't seen it, I would encourage you to come in and take a look at it.
Yes, I would do.
It's great, so thank you so much.
And the next one we have, and this is one of your newer businesses, Heights Brewing. So Ryan and Sean, they were awarded $2,500, and this is to support the installation of a custom water system, correct? So that it would help with your taps. Is that, yeah.
Custom tap system.
Custom tap system. So, of course, that's going to be very important for your business. And I personally look forward to you opening up. So, congratulations, and here's your display check.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so thank you very much for entertaining us.
Thanks, Tim. My understanding is that both businesses were also recognized publicly. I think there was a little bit of a chance for them to get some recognition out in the environment as well, not necessarily just here at the council meeting. So congratulations again. The next item on the agenda is item 7, new business. Item A, waste management solid waste collection 5-year extension. Mr. Udi.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The video crew has asked me to step over here this evening since there's so many agenda items I have up this evening. Again, this is just a revamping of the staff report we reviewed 2 weeks ago. Just securing the 5-year extension agreement with Waste Management. No significant changes since we last spoke about it. We are still working both with Farmington Hills Waste Management and Farmington Hills Waste Hauling Provider to reduce some of the large truck traffic on several streets, both in the Farmington Hills community. Waste Management and Farmington Hills Waste Hauler is not opposed to it, so we're just finalizing those streets out and getting those final numbers to each vendor and getting ready to move this project forward, or extension forward. So any questions from me, Council?
Councilwoman Taylor.
At our last meeting, when we talked about this at a study session, one of the questions that we had was the communication plan to residents. Can you have any details on how Waste Management plans to let everyone know what's coming up and when, what to expect?
Well, actually this evening, we have Chantel LaForce from Waste Management here. If Chantel will come up, and if she can probably add some comments on that. She has more experience of changing vendors and moving into this new project than I do.
I just noticed there were cookies. How exciting. It's the little things, right? So hello, for those of you I haven't met, Chantel LaForest, Public Sector Rep for Waste Management. I've been working with Chuck and David I've been around for about 14 months, so 14 months. As it relates to informing residents of a change in services where It's going to be minor, but there are going to be some shifts in service days. Typically, what we do is we will partner with the city on development of a mailer that will go out to all residents informing them of the change. That will be coincided by a postcard. It really depends on the city's preference. But we have a whole suite of marketing materials that are available. We work with our corporate team and partner on that just to ensure branding guidelines are adhered to. But we send those out typically 4 to 6 weeks prior to the change, just to ensure that it's close enough. We know that if we send something 6 months out, folks aren't going to remember. So we try to get right in that sweet spot and ensure that everyone is informed. If there are any opportunities to partner with the city on digital communications, so we can provide social media graphics, newsletter content as well. Really, however you inform your residents, we can support with the materials necessary to do so.
All right, thank you.
I know Chantel has Melissa's contact information, so transmitting of any electronic documents can be made very easily.
Yep, absolutely.
Any other questions or comments from the council? Maybe talking about the communication plan just one more time. So the effective date of the contract is July 1st, 2024, is that correct? Okay, so there's some opportunity ahead of that to communicate, because I know the last time there was a little bit of a challenge.
Delay.
You're right. Okay. As long as we have enough time, I certainly don't want it to be like the spring thaw and then bang, there's.
We'll probably target the water billings when those goes out in each quarterly water bill, city manager newsletter, just starting to give residents a heads up to, hey, this change is coming, be aware, pay attention for more details to come.
Okay.
I've already put this on the radar for our corporate communications team and our graphic designers as well, letting them know after the first of the year, I want to get working with them on materials so that everything can be ready to go.
Typically, how far in advance are the carts delivered?
So with the carts, one of the things that we do, again, it depends on the city's schedule, especially once we get into the warmer months. We try to work around construction schedules and different things like that. A lot of times we're delivering them within 2 to 4 weeks prior. And again, doing that so that folks have time to, see it, touch it, feel it, wheel it, do the things. But that it's not something that's just sitting around for months before it's utilized. One of the other things that we include is, you may have lifted a trash cart lid before and found a little hook in there and been like, why in the world is there a little hook here? We usually put a little cart insert in there, and that reminds folks again, like, hi, this is your new cart. Everybody has to open the lid at some point. So that's a second point of contact. We'll work on the timeline, but 2 to 4 weeks is typically the sweet spot that we look at.
Okay. Thank you for that. Unless there's further discussion, is there a motion?
Move to approve 5-year solid waste collection extension with Waste Management for solid waste collection, including trash, yard waste, and recycling.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Parkins, supported by Ms. Taylor. Roll call vote, please, Clerk Bachman.
Bulk.
Yes.
LaRussa.
Yes.
Parkins.
Yes.
Shaman.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Looking forward to the change and educating the public. The next item is the DDA 2024 event calendar. Mrs. Knight.
Thank you, Council. This is a consideration to adopt a resolution approving our 2024 community events calendar. It includes liquor license applications, street closures, and designated sidewalk shopping. Those are all standard. We do them every year. We're coming in December because we are continuing our in-person public art benefit in February. It's February 10th in 2024. It's coming up very quickly, and we'd like to get moving on applying for a special event liquor license. We haven't done it since 2020, about a week before the world shut down, and that was a really good event. I think it was a super spreader. So the two other items that we've added to the 2024 calendar for your consideration don't involve anything in terms of liquor licensing or street closure, but just for your awareness and consideration, we'd like to introduce a wellness program on Wednesday nights, a short run of 6 weeks at Memorial Park. It would be activating a very passive green space here on Grand River Avenue across from City Hall. It's already part of our designated common area for the social district. We think it's a nice complement to a lot of our cultural programming downtown. A lot of our peer communities have been running this for several years, and we thought it's time that we try it under the umbrella of DDA brand and program. The entire 6 weeks would be coordinated and produced with help from downtown businesses that have fitness or wellness as a category. So think yoga, weightlifting, I don't know, Tai Chi, something like that. The other series would be a very low-key solo series at our brand-new Dine-In Park. We've had a few requests from local businesses asking if they could, the adjacent businesses asking if they could help program with, for example, a solo musician one night a week. And we said, sure, we'd love to help facilitate that. In fact, we'll produce it. So it just simplifies it. Again, it will not be a banner across the park. It'll just be a very simple, minimally promoted musical experience on Thursday nights during the summer. And that would run concurrently with our long-running Rhythms and Riley series and Lunch Beats, which we've been doing for coming on 5 years now. So June through August.
Very
Questions?
nice. Questions from the council? Comments? Nice work adding yet more to an already full plate, but they're definitely good ads, and I think you're going to see a lot of positive top spin from the ads. So good job coming forward with those. Is there a motion?
Move to adopt resolution approving the 2024 DDA Community Events Calendar, temporary liquor license applications, street closures, and designated sidewalk shopping dates as presented.
Support.
Motion by Mrs. Balk, supported by Ms. Taylor. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
LaRussa.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Schneeman.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
And Bulk.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion carries.
Thank you. See you in the summer.
No, in February. All right. Next item on the agenda is consideration to approve MDOT State Trunk Line Maintenance Appendix F Letter of Understanding. Mr. Udi.
This all originated about a year ago. Neither MDOT, Public Works, Clerk's Office, City Manager's Office, or the Treasurer's Office could locate an original contract that the city and MDOT agreed for us to provide the trunk line maintenance on Grand River. So this evolved into a letter of understanding, which also involved the establishment of each tiered arrangement of maintenance within the LOU. Whether it be winter maintenance, curb sweeping, area mowing, sign maintenance. It even includes carcass removal. So, with that being said, as up until just on Tuesday last week, Assistant Superintendent and myself had a meeting with the MDOT representative, basically reviewing the proposed budget numbers. We've requested to accent some areas of the budget, which they did. In other areas, they're a little more constricted on adding additional funding. So we're still working on resolving those issues, but right now, as it amounts to is the residents in Farmington desire a higher level of maintenance on Grand River than MDOT really wants to be on the hook for paying for. Like it says here, MDOT wants to see only 6 curb sweepings a year. We offer up to 8. They want to only see 12 area mowings a year, 12 or 13 area mowings a year. We provide up to 25. So MDOT has their limit of what they're willing to commit to. So we feel that in the best interest of the community, we provide that extra service even though we will not be reimbursed for it. So with that being said, City Attorney's Office has reviewed the letter of understanding, doesn't feel that there's anything withholding from agreeing to this here. MDOT's committed to establishing quarterly meetings with Public Works to review the budgeting, the areas of work, and with this being said, there's going to be limitations on each individual level of areas of work. In years prior, it was basically like a lump sum. As long as you didn't go over your lump sum, it was fine. Well, now, knowing that they only are willing to pay for 12 to 13 area mowings a year, if we provide that 25, when we hit our maximum line item on that budget, any additional maintenance is going to be out of the city's pocket. So I guess any questions for me, council?
Councilman Schneeman.
Chuck, did I hear you right that no one was able to actually locate a contract?
You are correct. You did hear correctly.
Okay, so when it says the city of Farmington has contracted with the Michigan Department of Transportation for several decades to maintain Grand River, that was like verbal as far as,
It could very well have been a handshake agreement.
okay. So now it's obviously going to be more than that. It's going to be in writing.
Yes.
And you went through some of the details just now. But I guess in general terms, would you say that the city is leaving this negotiation in this new contract in a better position relative to our relationship with MDOT in this regard, or maybe not as good?
We will be in a better relationship with MDOT and have a greater means of communication.
I guess what I'm saying is, are we getting a better deal now than what we had before it was in writing?
The deal, the way, years ago, we're talking 10, 15, 20 years ago, we could go up to our maximum dollar level of the pool of money, and MDOT didn't care whether we used the funds on winter maintenance, street
So we're
sweep.
losing some flexibility.
We're losing a little flexibility, yes,
Is that going to be manageable internally for us?
yes. We were not looking at changing our services any, and what MDOT has implemented the last several years is when we've exceeded our, I believe it was for 2019, we exceeded our budget in 2019. It took MDOT 2 years to review their books, to audit their books. So then in 2022, they said, well, you exceeded back in 2019, so your 2023 budget, we're going to reduce it by $4,000. So they've already implemented the means to reduce our budget if we go over. Now it's just going to be an immediate,
Contractor, no, they've already
yes,
gotten the money. Okay.
yes.
And I guess then, just in general terms, we've worked with our legal counsel on this.
On the current letter of understanding or the contract before?
The current letter of under,
Yeah, we reviewed it.
Okay. And we feel like this is a good move.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments? Chuck, I have one. What's our potential to maybe convince or further negotiate that because of the situation that we have where this trunk line is also one of our main streets, what is your confidence level that we could further negotiate for a higher level of service than what MDOT is currently willing to reimburse for?
I'm confident that we can still twist our arm a little more
Okay.
and hopefully receive some additional funding.
Is this the quarterly meeting's purpose, to maybe
Yes.
educate them about the level of
needs.
service that's really
Our needs,
necessary? Okay.
the level of service our community demands, and the level of service that MDOT's willing to provide, so.
Okay. And what's the total, kind of along the lines of Councilman Schneeman's question, the gap is manageable, how big is the gap?
The largest gap is in our area mowing. MDOT wants only to provide $3,500 for area mowing annually. By area mowing, their interpretation of area mowing is a brush hog. We go out there, we finish cut, we weed whip, we leaf blow. So on our end, we're about $10,500. So there's about a $7,000 gap there.
Okay.
Street sweeping is usually about $2,500, maybe $3,500 annually. So we're looking right around a $10,000 mark.
Okay. And in spite of that gap, you're comfortable recommending we approve?
Yes.
All right, unless there's any further discussion, is there a motion?
Move to approve the State Trunk Line Maintenance Appendix F Letter of Understanding with the Michigan Department of Transportation and authorize the city manager or other City of Farmington administrators to execute the Appendix F Letter of Understanding on behalf of of the City of Farmington.
Support.
Motion by Balk, supported by Taylor. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Perkins.
Yes.
Shaman.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Falk.
Yes.
And LaRussa.
Yes. Thank you, Chuck. Let's see. Carrying on, item 7D, consideration of state trunk line performance resolution allowing annual and individual permitting applications.
Yep, the performance resolution is a requirement of the annual permitting requirement. This has been in place the last number of years. Really no change to it, no change in our permitting. So this is just a renewal of it and to carry on with maintenance as we've been providing for many years.
Questions or comments from the council? Is there a motion?
Move to adopt the performance resolution regarding annual and individual permit applications with Michigan Department of Transportation for miscellaneous operations within state trunk line right-of-way.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Taylor, supported by Mr. Parkins. Clerk Bachman, once again, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Shaman.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Falk.
Yes.
LaRussa.
Yes.
And Perkins.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Item 7E, consideration to approve dump and salt truck build of the 2025 Freightliner chassis. Mr. Udi.
Well, this is onto the fun stuff now, you know. City Council approved the purchase of the chassis for this truck back in October. I believe it was $103,000, $104,000 for the truck chassis. This build out of the salt truck, we're going to be going a little bit old school, conventional dump bed, tailgate spreader, front plow, underbody, and this truck here will also be equipped with a wing plow on it. We were considering installing the wing plow on one of our older trucks, but that truck will already be 8 years old by the time this truck is delivered. We didn't think it made a whole lot of sense installing a brand-new wing plow on an 8-year-old truck. So even though we keep the trucks for 16 to 20 years, thought it was more appropriate to keep it on a new truck. So with that, Truck and Trailer, they built our other 3 previous trucks, which we just took delivery of the 3rd truck last week. It's been placed in service. This truck here will be replacing a 2000 year model GMC salt truck. Yep. Getting so old, Henry Ford doesn't even want it.
Thank you, sir. Any questions or comments from the council? Ms. Bach.
I think my daughter will be offended. She's the same age as that truck, but it's okay. My question is, are you pretty confident? I know we have to go so far out. We're doing pretty well with the ones that we've had delivered, with waiting, because this is now saying October 2024. Are we in a pretty good pattern as far as our replacements and deliveries and that kind of thing?
I would rather see the trucks spread out more evenly on our replacements. We have a 2014, we have a 2015, we have a 24, and we'll have a 25. I'd rather see a truck about every 4 to 5 years rather than having to bunch them up. But due to financial conditions that happened in the late 2000s, due to pandemic, due to supply chain shortages, we figured we better get our names on the list to get a truck now, because who knows what's going to come in the future.
Thank you.
I've spoken with Director of Finance, Chris Weber. He's confident that funding is in place for this truck to be purchased. None of the purchase of this truck chassis or the outfitting of this chassis would be until next fiscal year.
Other questions, comments? Chuck, you mentioned that the funding isn't until the next fiscal year. Are there any other enhancements or any other items that you would ask for, seeing as how the replacement cycle has been impaired? Are there other, you mentioned the wing plow, are there any other accessories that you'd have it on there?
Not for our salt trucks. We're sitting pretty good on all of our winter maintenance equipment and our dump trucks and all the apparatus to go on the swap loaders. We're appropriately situated with that now. Me and Assistant Superintendent, we've been reviewing our equipment replacement schedule, and we have some high priority items on there. We're just trying to get them in the right order.
Okay. All right. Unless there's anything further, is there a motion?
Move to approve purchase of the dump salt truck build from Truck and Trailer Specialties Incorporated in the amount of $158,185.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Taylor, support by Mr. Schneeman. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
Taylor.
Yes.
Balk.
Yes.
LaRussa.
Yes.
Parkins.
Yes.
Schneeman.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Item 7F, construction estimate number 6 for the 2022 road rehabilitation project. Mr. Udi.
Okay, this is the part of the asphalt road rehabilitation project, but also included the ditching work along Shiawassee. This pay application is primarily for the ditching work that was done on Shiawassee. We still have retainage held, guaranteeing them to come back into town in the springtime to verify turf establishment and any touch-up work they may need to do.
Questions or comments from the council? Seeing none, is there a motion?
Move to approve payment to Best Asphalt Incorporated payment application number 6 in the amount of $49,887.65 for the 2022 road rehabilitation project.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Parkins, supported by Ms. Taylor. Clerk Bachman, please call the roll.
Balk.
Yes.
LaRussa.
Yes.
Parkins.
Yes.
Schneeman.
Yes.
And Taylor.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Item 7G, consideration to approve temporary relocation of precincts 3 and 4 for the February 27th, 2024 presidential primary election. Clerk Bachman.
Yes, thank you. We have been asked by the school district to move our precinct locations 3 and 4 out of the high school. The reason being is because school's in session that day. We are in the cafeteria, and there really isn't another location within the high school to put 2 precincts. So they have asked us to move to the Maxfield Education Center, and we are seeking your approval for that. And this will just be for the February presidential primary. There has been locations at that center before, when they had to move due to construction at the school over the summer. So we have, previously held precincts there. It's handicapped accessible. It's a good spot to have our precincts for that day. We're going to send out communications, mailings to the registered voters, and we'll put something in with the water bill inserts, and of course utilize social media.
Thank you. Comments or questions from the council? Mayor Pro Tem Ball.
Just out of curiosity, is this something that maybe going forward we should consider, because that will happen every once in a while? I mean, I remember back in the day when they were always in schools, and then things changed and we're not in schools as much. Is it something we ought to consider to not have that so it's not an issue going forward?
I think that would probably be a good idea. We do have, a precinct at the elementary school as well. And I think just to get out of the schools, it's not a bad idea. It's just finding a permanent
location.
home. Yeah.
Sure.
So absolutely. And if you have any suggestions on locations, that would be helpful. But we can go to churches. We can go,
I was hoping you.
That's a perfect spot. I will vote for that.
Let's talk.
But yes.
Okay.
I think that would probably be something we would want to
Yeah.
have a discussion about.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
Move to temporarily relocate voting precincts 3 and 4 from Farmington High School to the Maxfield Educational Center located at 32789 West 10 Mile Road for the February 27, 2024 presidential primary election.
Support.
Motion by Mrs. Balk, supported by Mr. Parkins. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Clerk Bachman. Thank you, council. So the next item on the agenda is the revised item 8, public comment, our second public comment of the evening. This is the portion of the meeting where members of the public may address the city council. Please state your name and address for the clerk, and please keep your comments to 3 to 5 minutes if possible. Is there anyone who wishes to make public comment to the city council? Seeing none, we'll close the second public comment, which brings us to the new item 9, which is council comment. Is there anyone who wishes to make council comment tonight? Mayor Pro Tem Balk.
I'd just like to say to the people of Farmington that we thank you for your support so far with this new council before you, and just are so excited. We have so much happening in our downtown, our DDA, and just all of our commissions. It's so obvious that people want to be a part of things. They want to enjoy our city and see you downtown for our ball drop that's coming on New Year's Eve. We won't see you again till 2024, but we'll see you around town, and I promise I'll be out and about, and I'm sure my fellow council members will be as well. So happy holidays.
Thank you. Other council comment? Ms. Taylor?
As the member of the Farmington Bicentennial Committee, I would like to let everyone know that bicentennial merch will be available at the ball drop event on New Year's Eve in Riley Park. There are sweatshirts, t-shirts, beanies, very delicious chocolate-covered Oreos, and a limited, incredibly limited of supply of Farmington Afghans.
Excellent. Other council comment? Mr. Parkins, Mr. Schneeman. Farmington, what a year it's been. A lot of transformation in this town. We've seen the completion of a number of signature projects, renovations in our town, businesses receiving grants. There's a lot of investment in our community, positive things, positive momentum that's building. And I think that we're seeing the fruits of a lot of labor and a lot of planning that's been done by our administration and current and former councils. So I want to extend my thanks to all the hard work that's been done by all of the departments and the administration. It's been a great year, another great year. I want to thank the business community and everybody who has volunteered to help make Farmington what it is. It's really a great time to be part of our town. And I want to thank my council colleagues for their leadership, because it starts with policy, and making the environment favorable for all these positive things is something that I know we all take very seriously, and it shows in the work that's being done. I want to add my wishes for a happy holiday season to everybody in the city, and looking forward to seeing you out and about in town. And remember, even Santa Claus himself said that Farmington was the place to be for the holidays. So if the big man with the bag says we're the spot, then you know it's got to be true. So Merry Christmas, Farmington. Happy New Year. Enjoy the holiday season. And with that, we'll move to item 10, which is closed session to discuss pending litigation. Is there a motion to enter closed session?
Move to enter closed session for the topic of discussing pending litigation.
Support.
Motion by Taylor, supported by Schneeman. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
Harkins.
Yes.
Shaman.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Falk.
Yes.
And LaRussa.
Yes.
You gonna display your check?
Thank you.